Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeff Barton, your voice in the mortgage industry. Thanks very much for tuning into the show. If you want to see the show, go to YouTube. Jeff Barton, the Mortgage Voices on YouTube. We have a great website. It is themortgagevoice.com. We're on a number of different podcasts, and we're also on KCAA radio. If you want to see and hear past shows, you can either go to KCAA, a number of these different podcasts that we're on, and of course YouTube, Jeff Barton, the Mortgage Voice. All of the archive shows are there. We talk a lot about what's going on in the economy, how it affects you and your choices out there. There are some choices, not as many as we would like, and people always decry, or they look to what California is, which is a very expensive place to live, and it keeps getting more expensive, and the confounding problems with why. So as a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek, humorous anecdote, I read an article on Yahoo. It was very interesting about a family that moved from California down to Texas, and they had some interesting observations about that move, about the reason they moved back to California. So I wanted to share some of these with you because it's always greener, and the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence, right? Always. And we look towards other places. We look toward the non-taxed states, and we look towards, the freedom to bear arms, or any number of other different things, the non-union states, the right to work states, all the things that are not California. California has a vision and a way by which they've been doing things. Granted, I don't know if it's all correct, but this particular family had some observations I thought I would share with you. Okay, and here it is. Austin, like California, is not affordable. Yes, Texas in and of itself is much cheaper, but Austin, where they moved to, is not. Taxes, the power, the energy, very expensive down there. Services, they thought they'd have some services that they did not. Travel within the state is also expensive, and the weather is not great. Okay, let's get to some of these topics that the guy talked about, and some of the ways that they looked at Texas versus California. I'm laughing because I agree with a lot of them. I know a little bit about Texas, a little bit about what's going on down there as well. Okay, let's see. First of all, Austin is wet, okay? Getting almost 90% as much rain as Portland, Oregon. Think about that for a second. Austin, Texas, Portland, Oregon, same amount of rain. Okay, sounds great. Greenery looks good, but there are a lot of different things that happen in Texas which don't happen other places because of the wetness. Mold is tough to handle, right? If you've got allergies, you've got children, or you've got respiratory issues, mold is not good. Allergies, mosquitoes, and water penetration. All these things affect the quality of life in Texas. Okay, there is no public land. Number two is no public land. What does that mean? Okay, in California we have a lot of parks. There just are. There's a lot of open space. There's a lot of state parks, national parks, and city parks, depending on where you live, to enjoy outdoor space together. And in Texas there is not. So what happens there is you tend to stay within your house. And that is another one of these issues that we're talking about. Nowhere to go. Right. So when you jump in your car to go someplace in California, how many parks can you say you visited in the last 10 years? Whether it's Yosemite, whether it's Yellowstone, whether you go up to the mountains, whether you head out to the desert. There are tons of places to go for everyone to enjoy open and public space. It's one of the unique and great things about California is that you can ski in the morning and surf in the afternoon because we have a lot of places to go. In Texas, not so much. There's not a lot of places to go, according to these people, and that's one of the benefits of living here in California. The big one here on number 4 is dishonesty, and I'm going to read it to you because it's just interesting anecdotally what they say about the difference in the two different places. Okay, think about integrity much? I didn't. I've worked with hundreds of companies and thousands of people in California. Sure, they're bad apples, but by and large, integrity is a default way to treat people here. That's true. And I've seen people go off on, all kinds of service people or people they do business with or in the street. But by and large, everybody follows the rules. Stay on your lane, be able to treat people well, be able to treat people fairly. Yes, this is part of what California is and makes California great. Here in Texas, it says, first, it was the people we bought a home from. They lied about the cause of a leak, failed to disclose well water quality issues that made us sick, lied about how much stuff costs to repair, etc. But it didn't stop there. They hired a guy with a 5-star rating on Yelp to pull up flooded carpet, who completely and very obviously busted our closet doors while removing them and never said a word about the damage, or whose carpet cleaner made a foot-long burn mark upstairs and left without a word, or the mover, yes, also 5 stars on Yelp, we hired offered to help sell our leather sectional and $600 ping pong table. We split the proceeds with us. They're still waiting to hear from the guy. So 4 different examples of dishonesty. Right, exactly. Okay, rudeness. Texas people are rude. They just are, especially if you're a non-Texas person. That's one of the things that they say and are really not happy about it. Let's see. It's not quite the conservative utopia that you think it might be when you get down there. There's all kinds of different fighting factions in terms of for both public policy as well as things that you need to do that you're not quite sure how to do it. Being an outsider in Texas means that you haven't lived there for 5 generations. Anything from that to, just moving there is going to cause you some problems to always be an outsider and always have those issues. It's a monoculture. In California, you get along because there's so many different groups. How many times have you driven down a street in San Bernardino or Riverside counties and say, you know what, there's a lot of different types of people here. Not so in Austin, not so in Texas. There is a Texas way to view the world, and there may be some left to that, some right to that, but by and large, it's Texas-centric. Here in Southern California, there are so many ethnic groups and different types of population that you actually enjoy it. You enjoy the difference. You enjoy the way people get along because of those differences. Not so much about Texas. And this is all according to this guy, right? Okay, cedar allergies. This is number 10 on the list. If you have allergies, and those allergies extend to tree allergies, apparently cedar is a big deal in Texas, especially when it rains. And it takes you months, if not years, to get used to the allergies and then find a way to deal with them. Being born there, growing up there is a different way because your body has adjusted since childhood. But not so for these people who moved down there for lifestyle and affordability and found all these different things that were a problem. And number 11, because the guy couldn't stop at 10, big luxury home obsession. As I said earlier, people in Texas tend to stay home because, 1, there's no place to go, and 2, that's just the way people do, how they live. So they tend to compete with the neighbors on size of house, quality of house, type of house, way it's decorated, how it looks to people from the street. So you spend a lot of time, effort, and money making sure your house is the palace that keeps up with the Joneses, keeps up with the neighborhood. All of these things combined, this family moved back. They live up in San Jose right now. Just thought I'd bring that to you because the grass is always greener until you move there, and then you realize, hey, you know what? I'm allergic to the grass. Anyway, I'm Jeff Barton. This is the Mortgage Minute, the Mortgage Voice, and we'll see you next time.